the 5th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Oh, Phil. Okay, Phil is coming in. He's been waiting very patiently. Okay. Okay. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Okay, so we're up to Milsa de Boyle la Rabba, Shita la Baye. This is on 86A. Let's see how far down it is. Looks like about 20 lines down. One from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, only 14. Oh, okay.
What's the first word on the line?
Gadol.
Got it.
In Lachabusha Gadol Mizeh. Hey, welcome, Phil.
Hello, how you doing?
Baruch Hashem, good to see you.
Okay, so we're on 86A2, very top.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Who read yesterday?
I did.
Who-
I did.
Roy read. Oh, Alan didn't read? Okay.
I did.
I think Alan read too. I'll say, okay, so everybody read except for Phil.
I
Phil
did
also-
I did the Rashis.
Phil read Rashi, that's right. Everybody read. Wow, that was a good day. Wow, that was very good. Okay, so we'll just go. Who wants to start off the reading today? Ilsa.
I'll do 86A2, top.
Yep.
More notes regarding Robert's inquiry. Umilsa, Devor, Ayor, Lay, Rabba. The matter that was a question to Rabba, but Shita, Lay, Baye, Vahach, Kisor was obvious to Abai in this direction. Ula Rava, Vahach, Kisor, and to Rava in this other direction. The Itma was stated, who of Yodol, but some saw where the assistant struck the victim on his hand and it shriveled and became disabled. The sulfur raw, but its end is to return to full health. The matter of liability is disputed as follows. Abaye said, no saying lo, sheves dolor, the sheves katanor. Abaye said, the assailant must give the victim compensation for his major loss of employment, i.e. the temporary loss of value, and also for his minor loss of employment, i.e. the loss of income. Rava said, no saying lo, Ella, the Beni Shito Shebachol Yom, he gives the victim only the value of his daily loss of employment until he heals. Thus, rather than argue over whether a damage payment is required for temporary loss of value.
Okay, so the Gemorrah brings the two views over here. Rabbah that we saw before, he was the one that asked the question whether there should be a payment of a temporary damages. And Abaya, though, he has no doubt about it. Abaya says, yes, he pays what's called Shevis Gedola and Shevis Katana. In other words, what are the two payments over here? He calls both of them Shevis. He doesn't call either one of them Nezik. But it would seem like it amounts to the same thing. Shevis Gedola is basically Nezik. The big Shevis is the Nezik payment. That's the amount that he is worth less now in the shuk as a result of the injury. So even though when he gets better, he's going to go back to being the full value. So it wasn't a permanent loss of value, but nevertheless, according to Abaye, you pay for it. That's called Shevis Gedola. And Shevis Katana is the Shevis that we know that the days that he's out of work. That's what he gets. And Rava says the only thing that he gets is the out of work days. And we have Rashi over here. We don't. Shevis Gedola, yeah. Shevis Gedola, Shevis Katana, Shebekol Yom Yom. We have some Rashis. Who would like to start off reading the Rashis?
Which one we're up to?
Hey.
Shevis Gedola. You're starting at Shevis Gedola?
Yeah.
Shevis Gedola, the Meyado. That's the value of his full hand. Shevis Kadana is Kol Yamin, Shipul Mishkav, all the days that he has to fall into bed. Roimoto, we see him, Ki'ilu Shomer Kishuim, like he's a cucumber washer. And the other one says Shebekol Yom Yom, which is every day by day. Ad Shiachzor Lekad Moto, until he returns to how he was at the beginning. No tain law, you give him Bekol Yom every day. Kamod Niskarim Poilim, just like his wages of workers, Beshuk, in the marketplace, the low Kishomer Kishuim, not like a cucumber washer. The Ha Rabba, and according to Rabba, Lo Yehiv Le the Meyido. And according to Rabba, you wouldn't give him the value of his hand, only the daily loss of pay.
Okay, so look what's going on over here. According to Abaye, it says you got two payments: one Shevis Gedola, Shevis Katana. Even though it's temporary, you're going to pay for the temporary loss of the hand. That he's worth less in the marketplace now on that account. But the Shevis Katana, he says, that's the days that he's not able to work because he's laid up in bed. We look at him like he's a cucumber guard. Whereas when we talk about Rava, cucumber guards are not, even though the Gemorrah in Kedushin says, Eina shiris vanias mina umnis. But the wealth does not come from the type of job that's done. That's what the Gemorrah says over there at the end of Kedushin. But here we're saying he's going to be paid as a shomer kishuan, cucumber guard, which is not a high paying job generally. Okay, but according to Rabbah, that he only gets the payment of Shevis Kol Yom Yom until he gets back to his abilities, he's not going to be paid as a shomer kishuin. The payment, he's not going to be paid for the hand, the temporary loss of the hand, but he is going to be paid for the out of work. But the out of work payment that he's going to get is going to be a higher payment than according to Abaye. He's going to get the rate. He's going to get the rate of a worker who hires himself out for the day in the shuk, and that apparently, says Rashi, he says that's not the pay of a shomer kishuin. It would seem to me that that's a higher rate that he gets, because Rashi says because look, according to Rava, he's not getting anything for the hand, the loss of the hand. So it would seem that the fact that he's not getting anything for the loss of the hand, he's going to be getting a bigger Shevis payment though than Abaye will award. So it would seem that they're gonna pair out a little bit. They're not going to be such a great difference between the two payments, Abaye and Rabba. Okay.
It seems surprising to me that nobody says that he gets paid according to what he would earn in his own profession.
Oh, why doesn't he get paid? That's a good question. Why does he not get paid for what his personal loss of work will be?
Does the money that he gets paid by come from the attacker?
Yeah. Yes, that's the one that pays.
He may not be able to pay much, if at all.
Well,
It's another problem.
I wonder
Yeah,
if
that's
you could say that in terms of deterrence, that it's discriminatory against low-paid people. That if you attack a person who is low-paid, then you'll end up having to pay less if you attack a person that's high-paid. Therefore, the high-paid people are being the low-paid people are being unfairly discriminated against.
the low-paid people are being discriminated against.
Yeah, if you attack a cucumber guard, if you do it the way I'm saying, and you pay him according to what he would have normally earned. So if you attack a cucumber guard, he's going to get a very small compensation. If you attack a doctor, he's going to get a very large compensation for the same amount of time out of work. Therefore, the Russia is deterred more from attacking a doctor than from attacking a cucumber worker.
Mm-hmm.
The cucumber worker says, it's not fair. We're always getting attacked. The doctors never get attacked.
Well, I would imagine in most of these cases, it's not an intentional attack. It's I don't know if we're talking about people that it's certainly the halacha is that it makes no difference whether he did so intentionally, whether he did so unintentionally. He's going to pay, even in a case. In other words, even in a case where he did so unintentionally, if he did it, if he was personally caused the injury, not his animal, not as opposed to his animal or his property causing the injury, he's going to have to pay all these payments.
Right.
We don't make any distinction. Even you don't. He won't be sufficient for him to say, "Oh, I didn't mean to do it." Yeah, but you caused the other person damage. You have to pay for it. But really, we would have to go back and do research. Where did we get this? Where do we get this this halacha that Shevis pays? Where according to how do we determine what the payment that the Shevis is paid? I thought we did do this.
I think it just stated it. I don't think it explained why. I think when it first introduced the idea of the cucumber worker, it just said as a fact.
Well, see, in other words, if we're talking about a case where the person actually lost his hand, so now all he's capable of doing is being a cucumber guard. So we understand why it is that he's going to be paid as a cucumber guard for not being able to work because he's laid up now for the next 2 months, because that's all he's now capable of doing. But he was a doctor before. So now the question is, well, actually, a doctor, he actually would, he wouldn't have so much loss in his, he might be able to do his work, depending on whatever. But
He's a concert pianist.
the question would, okay, the question would be like this. We would have to look at the payment for the nezek. How do we judge the loss of the hand? Do we judge how do we judge the loss of a hand? How much is an eved worth in the shuk with a hand, and how much is an eved worth in the shuk without a hand? We don't take into consideration the fact that he's a concert pianist either.
Really? I would think the opposite. I would think we'd say, how much is he worth as an eved who's a concert pianist in the shuk, as opposed to how much is he worth as an eved has missing a hand, and therefore he cannot be a concert pianist. And I would think that would be a very large amount.
Yeah, but we didn't, I don't think we said that though.
Can we say his value with the hand and his value without the hand? It says on 85B, there's a footnote in the art scroll that says the damage is assessed by calculating how much the victim is devalued on the slave market as a result of his injury. And it refers you to 83B.
Yeah, this is why we only pay him as a shomer kishuin for the out of work, because we've already, the Gemorrah over there that you quoted, Lou, is saying because we've already paid him for the hand. But the question is, what is it exactly that we are paying him for this loss of the hand? That's the question. Um, hmm.
You look at the Mishnah on 83b, it says, how do we assess the damage if the assailant was blinded, if the assailant blinded the victim's eye, cut off his hand, or broke his leg? We view the victim as if he were a servant being sold in the market, and we appraise how much he was worth before he was wounded and how much he is worth now.
Yes, they're just translating Evid as a servant.
Right, but they're saying how much he was worth. Kama haya yafeh, and kama haya yafeh. So what's that phrase, kama haya yafeh? Does that refer to him as an individual, or does it refer to just the average person?
That's the thing. It seems to be saying that. One second. Let me just see what you're reading from. Where exactly, the Mishnah or the Gemorrah?
The Mishnah, 83b, the Mishnah, very top of the page.
Okay, the Mishnah. Benezik Ketzad, Simas Eno Kota Es Yado, Shibir Es Raglo, Roino So Ki'ilu Hu Eved, Hanim Kobashuk. We look at him as though he's a servant being sold in the marketplace. Shamin Kama Yofa. How much was he worth? But Kama Hu Yofa. And now how much is he now worth without the hand?
Right, so when we say he, are we talking about him specifically, Dafka him? That's what I think.
Let's see if anybody says. To me, I don't see any clear indication that we judge according to his how much he would be. And I don't see any clear I don't see any clear proof that that's what we're talking about. If he would be a very high paid person, makes a lot of money, that then that would be taken into consideration if the difference in his value now. But let's see.
Well, there's a Rashi, the English footnote quotes Rashi and Rabbeinu Yonasan, and it says that it's a measure of the physical damage he sustained.
What does that mean? The physical damage as in regardless of who he is or what he was?
Oh.
That the
Oh, 1
physical-
second. Oh, sorry, Roy. Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go on.
I just got excited. I found a rush over here. The note. This is this is what the rush says. This is one of the early authoritative codifiers. The rush says like this: "Kosav rush she'ein shamin oso dafka ke'eved pachot." We don't judge. We don't put the price tag on him as a simple servant. And what would be the difference with a simple servant that he has a hand and he doesn't have a hand, right? Ella says the Rush, Kol Adam Kafi Malachto, each person according to his particular line of work. So therefore, according to that, She'im haya oso adam nokev margolios. If this person was a pearl stringer, that apparently was a more skilled job and paid higher money, I guess. But he probably, in addition to stringing them, he probably sold the pearls. So he's Shami moso ke'eved nokev margolios. Then he's not just an ordinary servant who shines your shoes. He's a jeweler. It happens to be that. So how much would you sell a jeweler on the market place for? You're going to sell him for a heck of a lot more than you're going to sell somebody that shines your shoes, even though both of them are being sold in the marketplace. And also the loss that he sustained, says the Rush, will be according to how that affects his particular line of work. Whether he's how less capable is he able to do his particular line of work. Imnok yodo, if they lopped off his hand, Mishalim lo tashlim maruba kifi malachto. They'll pay him a large amount according to his profession. In other words, he's a pearl stringer. If he doesn't have a hand, he's not going to be able to do his pearl stringing. So that's going to be a big loss to him. It's so that would be the difference between an Eved being sold in the shuk as a pearl stringer and an Eved who's being sold in the shuk as a cucumber watcher. There's a big difference. On the other hand, if his leg was severed, so then the fact that he was a pearl stringer, that's not going to affect his ability to do his work very much at all. And according to that, the Nezek payments will be relatively low. So that is the view of the Rush.
So is that relevant to the issue of the unemployment payment?
Would he also say the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so now the way the unemployment, so the thing would be like this. Let's take an example. Let's say he's a pearl stringer, and his hand was severed. So now, what is his workers' comp going to be over here? He's not going to get workers' comp of a pearl stringer. Not only according to the Rush, but I think according to everybody. Even according to the Rush, he's not going to get paid as a pearl stringer. Why? Because that's what the Gemorrah said on 85b. The logic is as follows: he's going to get paid as a cucumber guard, because for these 2 months that he's not able to work, what was the work that he would able to do at that point? Watching cucumbers. Aye, but he used to be a pearl stringer. It's not fair. Yes, it is fair. Why? Because at least according to the Rush, he got paid for the value of his hand in the Nezik payments. Because in the Nezik payments, according to the Rush, we're going to take into consideration the fact that he is a pearl stringer. And therefore, his Nezik payment is going to be how much was he worth as an Eved who's capable of being a pearl stringer, and how much is he worth now in the marketplace without a hand, and he's not able to be a pearl stringer. That's a big Nezik payment that he got. That's paying for that's according to the Rush, that would be a substantial payment that he's getting for the Nezik. And therefore we could understand very well why the workers' comp, he's only going to get paid as a cucumber guard who is out of work for the last two months. Why? Because he already got paid for the fact that he lost the hand in the Nezik payment.
Right. I remember that now.
Okay. So, good. Very good. That's an important Rush to remember.
But the principle that we're dealing with now obviates that, because we're talking about a situation where it's a temporary damage. So if he doesn't get Nezik at all, according to the one opinion, then you can't use that argument.
In other words, Rashi's saying and explaining Abaya, who says he is going to get both. He's going to get two payments over here. He's going to get a payment for the temporary loss of the hand, and he's also going to get a payment of being out of work, and the payment for Rashi says he's going to get paid as a what a day worker would get to be paid.
I would think he would say he would get paid as a pearl stringer instead of saying as a day worker. What does a day worker have to do with anything? Either you're going to say cucumber guard because he's getting the value, he's getting the nezek, or you're going to say he's not getting the nezek, so therefore we have to compensate him in another way, pay him as a pearl stringer.
One second. Who said what over here? I forget now. It was Rabba who doesn't give any payment for the hand. He was giving him a payment as a day worker.
Right.
The Shevis. But it was Abaya who said he's going to get paid for the loss of the hand, even though it's a temporary loss. He's going to get paid for the temporary loss of value, in addition to the shevis, the workers' comp. But according to that, he's only going to get paid workers' comp as a cucumber guard.
My footnote seems to be interpreting the Rashi differently from what you're saying. It says that is, the victim receives the daily hire of a worker like himself on the labor market, and not the pay of a cucumber watchman.
But that's for the nezek, isn't it?
He's quoting Rashi, and he's quoting the Merome Sadeh.
Ah, okay. So the Merome Sadeh is reading into the Rashi's words that when Rashi says he's going to get paid as a day worker, he's going to get paid as the type of for the day of work that he personally is capable of doing.
Right, which would be the pearl stringer in our case, in our example.
Let's see. That's yeah. See, this makes sense though, according to Rabbah, because Rabbah's not making any payment at all for temporary loss of value being sold as an eved in the shuk.
Right.
So we don't have that rationale that we said previously a few minutes ago that look, he's getting paid for his hand. So don't worry that he's only getting paid as a cucumber guard now. Here, he's not. He didn't get paid at all for his. He didn't get paid at all for his hand. The loss of the hand is only temporary. He's not getting paid anything for it, and so the Romei Soda is saying, according to Rashi, that we should need to say he's going to get paid for his malacha. And you know why? I think it makes sense because it's that malacha that he's going to be going back to. Because he didn't have a what do you call it, a permanent loss of hand.
Right.
So really, that is still his line of work. It makes a lot of sense to say that he's going to get paid. He's going to get paid that. I don't know if the Merome Sode would say so about a case of permanent damage, permanent nezek, and he's getting paid a nezek payment.
I would say he would not say it because we have that point you brought up before, which was he's already been compensated for the fact that he was a pearl stringer. So we're not going to compensate him twice.
Right. I think that's clear. There's no doubt about that. Right.
11:30.
11:30, 12:30 even.
12:30, sorry. No.
It's
Yeah,
even
it better be 12. Okay. Very good, gentlemen. So we discussed a lot of important points today. Very good. I'm going to have to underline that rush.
Thank you,
That's a very
Rabbi.
Okay, take care, be well.
All the best, everybody. Bye, Phil. Bye, Alan. Bye, Roy. Bye, Lou.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bracha b'hatzlacha.